Hello and welcome back to our Golden Aura Energy Healing and Wellness podcast. So far, we've talked about what energy means from both a scientific perspective and from the perspective of spiritual and wellness traditions. We've explored how the nervous system, our emotions, and our daily experiences shape how we feel. Now I want to dive into some of the topics people ask me about the most. Questions like, what is an aura? What are the chakras? Why do I feel drained around certain people? Can I actually protect my energy? And how do practices like Reiki, yoga, somatic, and biomagnetic therapy fit into all of this? So let's explore those one by one. So if you've followed me for a while, you know that I'm the biggest nerd. So this is so much fun for me. So one of the first questions people ask me when they hear that I'm in the energy field is, what is an aura? They want to know what color their aura is, how do they see auras, and so on and so forth. So in many spiritual traditions, the aura is described as an energetic field that surrounds the body. Different traditions describe it differently. Some say it's made up of multiple layers, and those layers are connected with your emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects of your being, right? Of your experiences. From a scientific standpoint, there isn't accepted evidence that an aura, as described in these traditions, can be directly measured as a color field around a person. That doesn't mean people don't have meaningful experiences they describe as seeing another person's presence, mood, or emotional state. It simply means those experiences are interpreted differently depending on the framework that you're using. I like to think of the aura as a helpful way to reflect on whether you see it as a spiritual energy field or a symbolic representation of your overall well-being. It can encourage self-awareness, and self-awareness is key. Ding, ding, ding. Self-awareness. Highlight, draw a line at the bottom, draw another line, circles around it. Awareness is huge. Now, when someone says, you seem to have a calming presence, or that room felt lighter after you arrived, they're describing an experience. Different people explain experiences in different ways. So another question I hear almost daily, and I work with them every single day, is, what are chakras? The word chakra comes from Sanskrit and means wheel. In many yoga and Ayurvedic traditions, chakras are described as energy centers associated with different qualities of our lives. Now, when I say structure, they're not tangible. You can't see them. They're not recognized by modern medicine. Many people use them as a framework for reflection on personal growth. So let's walk through them. Your root chakra. It's located symbolically at the base of your spine. The root chakra is associated with safety, stability, security, and feeling grounded. And when people feel disconnected from their routines or uncertain about their future, they may choose grounding practices, such as a walk in nature, some breath work, or yoga, to help them feel more centered. The color of this chakra is red. And the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is often associated with creativity, emotions, relationships, pleasure, and adaptability. When we allow ourselves to create, laugh, dance, or express emotions in healthy ways, many traditions say we're supporting this area of our lives. Now, sacral chakra is associated with the color orange. Our solar plexus chakra, that is associated with the yellow color. This chakra is associated with confidence, personal power, your self-worth, and taking action. Think about those moments when you're finally speaking your piece, finally speaking up for yourself, when you finally decide that for yourself you are going to set healthy boundaries. You're not going to be walked on, you're not a puppet. when you finally say no without guilt, when you choose yourself. Many people connect those experiences with the qualities of their solar plexus. So your heart chakra, that is associated with the color green or pink. The heart chakra is associated with love, compassion, forgiveness, connection, and kindness. Not just towards others, towards yourself. If you've heard me say this once, you've heard me say this 1,000,000 times. When you decide to be your own best friend. Many of us are very good at forgiving everyone else, but we struggle to forgive ourselves. You need to treat yourself as good, if not better, than someone that you see out in public. Sometimes the hardest person to love is the person we see in the mirror every morning. And that, my friends, is very sad. So our throat chakra, so we have two bluish chakras. The throat chakra is sky blue, and it is the chakra of communication, truth, authenticity. Think about how often we stay quiet because we're afraid of disappointing someone. How often we don't speak our truth and we don't let our light shine. How often we say yes when we really mean no. The throat chakra invites us to communicate honestly and respectfully. We're not making people feel bad, but what we are doing is honoring ourselves and honoring our voice. So next up is the third eye chakra. Color is deep indigo, located a little bit above and in between those brows. The third eye chakra is associated with your intuition, insight, imagination, and your inner wisdom. People often ask me, how do I know if I'm hearing my intuition? My answer to this is easy. Intuition is not pushy. It's not loud. It often feels quiet. It feels loving. It feels kind. It's almost something that you just don't know where it came from. Almost like a thought that popped into your head. And you're like, how do I even know that? Fear is usually loud. Fear tells us everything that could go wrong. Intuition feels like a calm inner knowing. It doesn't always explain itself. It simply nudges. And learning to recognize the difference takes practice. Once you get really, really in tune with your intuition, it is like an internal superpower. So next up is the crown chakra. That chakra can be violet or white. The crown chakra is associated with connection, meaning, purpose, and our relationships with something larger than ourselves. For some people, that's God. For others, it's nature. For others, it's the universe. For others, it's simply a sense of peace. For others, it's just a sense of knowing that there's something more than themselves. The idea isn't that everyone has to believe in the same thing. The idea is creating space to reflect on what gives your life meaning. So next up is, why do some people drain your energy? So have you ever spent an hour with someone and felt completely exhausted afterwards? Almost like it's time for a nap. Like your eyeballs felt heavy, but you were totally fine before, and you don't know what happened. And then you go spend time with someone else, and you feel amazing. You feel energized. You are on cloud 9. You can go run the mile now. People often describe this as absorbing energy. There are several ways to think about it. Sometimes we spend time with someone who has experienced intense emotions. Supporting them can be emotionally demanding and draining. and it's natural to feel tired afterwards. And sometimes we don't have healthy boundaries. We may be an empath. We say yes when we mean to say no. We take on responsibilities for everyone else's problems. We become the fixer, super flexible, the rescuer, the person everyone leans on. And eventually, we become emotionally depleted. Whether you would describe it as an energy drain or emotionally exhausted, the experience is real. One of the most important lessons is this: your compassion does not require self-sacrifice. You can deeply care for someone else without carrying their weight. And I've said this, if you followed me, sometimes we think that we are doing someone a favor, but we are actually hindering their growth and doing them a severe disservice, while in turn taking a toll on our well-being. And we don't want that. So what does it mean to protect your energy? Protecting your energy doesn't mean shutting people out. It doesn't mean becoming cold. It doesn't mean, not listening, not caring, avoiding people. But it means becoming intentional, becoming aware. Protecting your energy might look like getting enough sleep, taking breaks, turning off your phone, definitely limiting social media, taking a walk, meditation, saying, no, sorry, I can't today. Or, no, I don't think that that's something that I would like to do. And knowing that that's okay. Knowing that it is your choice, this is your life, and it is okay to say no. Many people also do visualization exercises, such as imagining themselves surrounded by a golden bubble of light. I have talked about that many times. Another great thing to do is if you're in a situation, you can set the intention, because intention is key, and we will go over this in another episode, but I don't take on and I don't give away, and so it is. Basically, what that is saying is you're not taking on so-and-so's energy, you're not giving away your good energy. So you set that intention and set that boundary so that you are not being drained and then in turn giving away your good energy. Because if you've ever been around someone that starts out completely drained, angry, and you start out in a good space, and then by the end, they're on cloud nine and you are drained, not only have they just sucked your energy dry, but you've absorbed their energy. So that is a great practice, but we are not talking about that today. So let's talk about Reiki. Probably the most question, if not number 2, that I get asked is, exactly what is Reiki? Exactly what do you do? So Reiki is a Japanese energy healing practice developed in the early 20th century, and practitioners place their hands lightly or just above the body with the intention of supporting relaxation and overall well-being. Many people report feeling deeply relaxed during a Reiki session. Research actually does suggest that Reiki may help people feel calmer and reduce stress, but it's not been proven to cure any diseases. It definitely does not replace medical treatment. For me personally, Reiki creates a quiet space where people can slow down, reconnect to themselves, and leave feeling more grounded. I started out as a client receiving Reiki, and it was life-changing for me. I've never felt so aligned. I've never felt so balanced. And yes, I have never felt so grounded in my life. Nothing I ever have done has been as beneficial as Reiki has been, and that's just for me. So what is somatic healing? I am an advanced somatic practitioner. I believe that 2 things that should be mandatory in this life are therapy and somatic knowledge. So the word somatic simply means relating to the body. Somatic practices involve us noticing what we are feeling physically. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" we ask, "What am I noticing in my body right now? Is my jaw tight? Are my shoulders lifted? Is my breath shallow? Can I soften just a little bit? What triggered this emotion, and how can I gently move it out of the body?" Sometimes the body notices stress long before the mind does. Learning to listen can be a powerful part of self-care. Now, biomagnetic therapy. Many of us also know that I practice biomagnetic therapy. I really enjoy it, and I have said before, it is a very great addition to my practice. And so biomagnetic therapy uses pairs of magnets placed on specific areas of the body according to the particular therapy system. So is this more of an ache or pain, like more of a medical biomagnetic therapy, or are we doing more of an energy field biomagnetic session? So idea behind it is that we are balancing out the body. So it's a great addition to your Reiki session, to your crystal healing session. There are courses online. There are not many of them. They are expensive, but you can actually buy the magnets. You can do them to yourself at home. And I've said this before, I saw a course. It was rather expensive. I said, this is total BS, but I was intrigued. I took one course, took another course, and took another course, and I was sold. I have magnets next to my bed, and if I ever need to pick me up, I will place them in the correct spots, leave them for 20 minutes or so, only because I am extremely sensitive to the magnets, and then I am good to go. Now, if you decide to ever do this is completely up to you. The one thing that I will say is, and I said this a little bit ago, this is not a replacement for the appropriate medical care. All of these things, Reiki, crystal Reiki, even, massage, biomagnetic therapy, somatic therapy, these are not replacements for medical care. These are complements to whatever you or your client are already receiving medically. And with everything that you do, it's always good to check in with your physician, let them know exactly what holistic treatments that you have going. Also, biomagnetic therapy is not to be done on anybody with a pacemaker, so just keep that in mind. Checking in with your energy daily really matters. And something I want you to remember is your energy isn't shaped by one big decision in your life. It's shaped by hundreds of tiny decisions. How much water did you drink today? Did you breathe deeply? Did you breathe shallowly? Did you have a spike in your nervous system? Has that gone down? Did you move your body? Did you spend 5 minutes outside today? Did you rest? Did you talk to yourself kindly? Those small choices all add up. So I want you to fully digest this episode, but I want to leave you with the word awareness. And awareness means becoming fully present with yourself and your experiences without immediately judging, resisting, or reacting to it. It's a practice of noticing your thoughts, emotions, body sensations, and surrounding with openness and curiosity. The next episode is going to be an episode on awareness. So I hope that you digest this and really think about it. I hope this has helped you even the tiniest bit, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.